Before Atlanta's Midtown became the South's heart of the arts, it was once home to the largest and most lavish mansions the city had ever seen. But what happened? Hi everyone, Ken here. Today we're uncovering what happened to Atlanta's Millionaires Row. Hit that subscribe button and let's explore this house. Atlanta's origins trace back to 1836, when Georgia decided to build a railroad to the Midwest. The location chosen for the railroad terminus, marked by a stake driven into the ground, laid the foundation for what would become Atlanta. Within a couple of years, homes and stores began to appear and the settlement quickly grew. Over the following decades, rail lines from 4 different directions converged, establishing Atlanta as the rail hub for the southern United States. During the American Civil War, Atlanta's strategic importance as a transportation hub made it a prime target for Union forces. In 1864, General William Sherman's troops captured and set fire to the city, leaving much of it in ruins. However, Atlanta's resilient spirit led to rapid rebuilding after the war, and the city soon experienced a population boom spurred on by industrial growth. The post-war era saw Atlanta becoming a center for manufacturing, finance, and trade, attracting wealthy individuals and families who laid the groundwork for the city's prosperity. As Atlanta's economy flourished through the turn of the century, the city's affluent citizens sought prestigious and tranquil areas to build their homes. Peachtree Street, with its scenic beauty and proximity to downtown, became the prime location for the city's wealthy elite to establish their grand mansions. We'll start our tour of Peachtree Street with the home of Frankie Block, who had moved to Atlanta from St. Louis in the 1870s to establish a candy and cracker business. His business quickly grew, and he expanded into banking, only multiplying his wealth several times over. From there, he ventured into railroads and eventually helped bring electricity to Atlanta. Even so, his original business in manufacturing candy and crackers proved to be the most successful, with the company later consolidating under Nabisco, which continues to produce many of his sweet snacks under different branding. Nearby, this mansion was paid for by the state of Georgia to serve as the first official governor's mansion. The interior was every bit as sumptuous as you might imagine, with 12-foot ceilings finished out with hand-painted murals, and hand-carved millwork proudly marking each window. The Second Empire-style all-brick mansion towered above the tree line, challenging each consecutive mansion to outdo the last. As we continue our stroll down Peachtree, we'll see several more grand mansions, many of which never had their interiors photographed. But that's okay, we still have a lot to learn about this neighborhood while we take in the sights. Before it became synonymous with wealth, the area around Peachtree was known as Tight Squeeze, a dangerous and lawless zone notorious for its narrow, treacherous roads which allowed robbers to ransack buggies as they passed by. Fast forward to the 1890s, however, and this area had undergone a dramatic transformation. The widening and grading of Peachtree Street, coupled with the extension of city limits northward, made it an attractive residential enclave for the city's elite. The former Tight Squeeze was rebranded as North Atlanta, a neighborhood marked by wealth and privilege. Prominent merchants, bankers, lawyers, and architects built lavish homes along Peachtree Street, turning it into what historian Franklin Garrett described as the Fifth Avenue of Atlanta. Families like the Rhodes, the Peters, and the Hertz constructed grand estates that showcased their success and influence. These mansions were more than just homes, they were symbols of social status and wealth, designed to impress and entertain. Despite its initial prosperity, the golden age of Atlanta's Millionaires Row was not to last. Several factors contributed to its decline, transforming the once exclusive residential area into a more commercial and urbanized district. The Great Depression of the 1930s dealt a severe blow to many families, leading to financial difficulties in the sale of their grand homes. The economic downturn forced some families to move out, and their properties were often subdivided into apartments or sold to developers. Additionally, the rise of the automobile and the expansion of the suburban areas made the once secluded estates of Peachtree Street less desirable as the city built up and surrounded the neighborhood. Even though figures like Frankie Block had helped bring electricity to Atlanta, not all of the mansions were built with electric wiring, nor plumbing, and most were not able to be retrofitted with air conditioning. Not only that, but the area quickly lost its exclusivity as homes crumbled from lack of maintenance, and those that survived were cut up into budget apartments, transforming it from the wealthiest area in town to one of the poorest. Wealthy Atlantans began to seek new suburban enclaves such as Buckhead and Inslee Park, which offered more space and modern amenities. As the 20th century progressed, urbanization and changes in zoning laws further accelerated the transformations of Peachtree Street. Many of the grand mansions were demolished to make way for office buildings, shopping centers, and apartment complexes. The once exclusive residential enclave became a bustling commercial district, losing much of its original charm and character. By the mid-20th century, the area around Peachtree had evolved into what we now know as Midtown. The district's transformation was marked by significant changes in its social and cultural landscape. The decline of Millionaires Row coincided with the rise of Midtown as an artist colony. In the 1960s and 1970s, Midtown became a haven for countercultural movements as a diverse array of residents moved into the once exclusively white neighborhood. This influx of new residents brought a vibrant cultural scene to the area, with galleries, theaters, and music venues flourishing. The artistic and bohemian atmosphere of Midtown contrasted sharply with its previous identity as a wealthy residential enclave. The 1980s and 1990s saw further changes as developers and city planners focused on revitalizing Midtown. Efforts to improve the area's infrastructure, enhance public spaces, and attract businesses led to an urban renaissance. Midtown emerged as a premier destination for commerce and culture, with high-rise office buildings, luxury apartments, and cultural institutions like the High Museum of Art and the Fox Theater contributing to its dynamic urban environment. The story of Atlanta's Millionaires Row on Peachtree Street is a microcosm of the city's broader history. From its roots as a strategic rail hub to its rise as a center of wealth and culture and eventual transformation into a bustling urban district, Peachtree Street mirrors the dynamic and ever-changing nature of Atlanta itself. While few of the original mansions remain, the legacy of those opulent homes and the era they represent continues to shape the character and the identity of Midtown Atlanta today. What did you think about Atlanta's Millionaires Row? Did any of these homes stick out to you while we traveled this forgotten street? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section, and while you're there, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an exciting episode of This House.